work here.
This one's called Only the Sheep Saw, meaning that the moon's lined up in between the mountains, and the sheep were the only ones that ended up really seeing it. These mountains are intriguing too. That you know, a lot of people look at them and wonder, is that truly mountains? Because they're tall, they're pretty lean, and it really came from me trying to be able to find a more primitive, more very beginning kind of look of artwork. And when I was in Bali visiting a cousin of mine, he had a little daughter who always drew me volcanoes. And that was in my card when I first arrived. And her volcanoes were really tall and thin. It was the only thing she was frightened of, was the volcanoes. Everything else, there was never any fear. But these always had a little bit of smoke coming out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would exchange drawings with her.
Just a little reminder that there's still something there.
There still might be something that happened.
The god of the earth.
Yeah. And so that feeling of it, and that feeling of the way that she drew them, I thought was really a beautiful representation.
Well, that's wonderful.
You know,
that's
yeah.
wonderful. This is a very, very unique art style. I'm by no means a connoisseur of art, but it's well worth the efforts to come and see it. I'd like to give you the information on where you can see this, starting with the farthest out gallery. SD's Design International at 225 Canyon Road in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 87501. The Fairwood Gallery Art Studio on Outer Highway 18 in in Running Springs, and it's by appointment only. The telephone number 867-4603. Once again, 867-4603.
What is the name of that gallery?
The Fairwood Gallery Art Studio. It's right on the right off the highway.
You can find it down in the phone book.
Yeah, and remember, it is by appointment only, but please do feel free to call. And it is also at the Mistral Gallery at 282 South Highway 173 in Lake Arrowhead. Telephone number 336-4888. Once again, that's 336-4888. Once again, thank you very much for being with us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again with more of your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
To Judy?
Yeah. Highway 330 will be closed this Wednesday and Thursday so that Caltrans can do some maintenance work on our roads. They need to get it ready for the coming weather pressures, the snow that we're going to have in the next winter. It will be closed from 8 to 4:30 both days, so plan extra time for going up and down the mountain. Takes a little while longer when you have to take alternate routes, and it means we have a little more traffic going on those alternate routes. So you need to take a little more time. Next Monday, we will have Sherry Newcomer as a guest on the Channel 6 news program. She is anxious to tell us about her experience in the flooded areas of the Midwest as a Red Cross volunteer. She will also explain what it means to us here in the mountains and how it helps, when we need to keep high and dry. We hope you'll be watching. The Red Cross needs you, and you need the Red Cross. Tom, it feels as though it's going back to summer again. Would you like me to talk a little slower, Tom? We're moving furniture around here for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about it.
Okay, yeah, we got no picture though, huh? What is the story on the humidity scale, and do we really have a chance for showers, Tom?
No.
Caught you right in the middle.
Yeah,
No.
yes, we do have a chance.
Oh no, we do already, huh?
Well, it's from Hillary. She's affecting the whole country.
Hillary, oh.
Yes.
Is it going to be muggy and,
Muggy,
you
yes.
know?
We're in that circulation that is, and you'll see it a little bit on the satellite pictures when the satellite pictures get here.
Okay.
And
This is fun, huh?
Yeah, like the one paper thing.
I appreciate that Birdsall sitting in for me on Friday. And sorry I didn't do as well on the forecast for Sunday. My Saturday was reasonable, but Sunday I didn't see something coming, and I'll show you that in the map. But
oh, do we need to get that red face out again?
Anyway, we have a weather system up here, a high with unstable air that is thing, and then another high down here, and another high down here, and here's moisture from Hillary moving up the Sea of Cortez. Out here is what's left over from Greg. Greg is moving that way. Hillary is moving this way. Greg is still a hurricane, just a minimal hurricane, but Hillary is just a tropical storm. And causing it's almost on top of Cabo San Lucas. We'll get details on that a little bit more. But you can see with the low clouds here, there is a high circulation here. We've been getting the circulation, there's a thermal low here, so we've been getting circulation from here that has been relatively warm and out of the southeast and very dry right now. This humidity is not here yet. When it gets here, we'll know it. And that is expected. The higher levels of humidity are expected to get here later tomorrow. So we may see some desert clouds tomorrow. Not thunderstorms, but just desert clouds. Okay, Florence, we need to come in a little bit. Okay, here's our mountain weather chart. Let's come in quite a bit closer, just so people can see what's on the map, at least a little bit. There we go. And the high temperatures are quite a bit higher than I expected them to be today. But it was higher yesterday than today in most cases. The high temperatures today were very close to what the high temperatures were yesterday. Or the day and yesterday are very much alike. Saturday was much cooler. The low temperatures have been coming up, and that's an indication of increasing humidity, and we'll have increasing humidity. Although the humidity it's fairly low today, it was very dry over the weekend. Down at Lake Gregory today, a high of 84 with a low of 58. It was 82 yesterday. Weilerhorn 93 and 60, Houston Creek 84 and 62, 87 and 55 at the Alpine Mall Lake Gregory Village, 84 and 65 at Sealy Creek, 89 and 60 at Job's Peak, 95 and 48 at Cleghorn Canyon down near Lake Silverwood. No report from Cedar Pines Park yet. Glencrest 89 and 59, 81 and 53 at Lower Valley of the Moon. Moving over to Twin Peaks, a high of 81, a low of 60. Big wind at 10 miles an hour. Again, the winds were relatively light at the areas that weren't terribly well exposed. 10 miles an hour at 6:32 this morning. At the top of Blue Jay Cutoff at the Lake Arrowhead Patrol Headquarters, 85 with a low of 59. Big wind at 13 miles an hour at 11:57 this morning. At the west end of Rim Forest, a high of 78, a low of 64. Big wind at 14 miles an hour at 3:04 this afternoon. At Arrowhead Lutheran Camp in Crest Park, a high of 84 and a low of 58. Moving to Running Springs. Nob Hill, 84, a low of 65, big wind at 24 miles an hour at 3:21 this afternoon. At Luring Pines and Running Springs, a high of 79, a low of 62. Moving to Green Valley Lake, a high of 81, a low of 52, big wind at 16.5 miles an hour, 16.5 knots, that's about 19 miles an hour, and this was in the 1 o'clock hour. 18% relative humidity, very dry, not in the marine layer. Then moving back to Lake Arrowhead Village, Fire Station 91, a high of 84 and a low of 55. 86 and 54 at Fire Station 92 on the North Shore. 88 and 58 at Calgary Court, the automated weather station on the north side. Big wind of 13 knots, that's 14.95 miles an hour, almost 15, at 1:14 this afternoon. 86 and 60 at Fire Station 94 in Grass Valley. Moving over to North Dart Canyon, a high of 93, a low of 65. Big wind at 29 knots, that's 33.35 miles an hour, at 2:38 this afternoon. 27% relative humidity. That's from the marine layer, but even then the marine layer wasn't that moist this far in. It was moist along the coast where they had clouds and fog most of the day today. The automated weather station got up to 94 with a low of 67. Again, in the very light winds. As soon as the marine layer here got up here, we started cooling off a little bit. And then moving to our relative humidity panel, west end of Rim Forest was 30% relative humidity as opposed to 27 in North Dart Canyon and 13 at Green Valley, or 18 at Green Valley Lake. The barometer 2988. It was 2990 at 4 o'clock, 2991 at 3 o'clock, 2992 at 2 o'clock, and 1 o'clock, and 2993 at noon. So it's coming down, but the whole range has gone up. It's a little higher today than it was yesterday, just a little bit. and that was a little high. We had almost like a weak Santa Ana, except the winds were out of the south. But the high pressure was depress the marine layer down below yesterday, and so the marine layer and the low clouds burned off very early yesterday, earlier than they did on Saturday. And as far as but the marine layer is coming back. In fact, it looks like it's trying to set up. It's already about 2,500 feet. Looks like the marine layer inversion is already forming right now. As you can see down there, just a few of those hills, you can see the top of them. The station pressure at 5 o'clock was 25.37, and we reduced that to sea level, and 30.05, and the difference between these two numbers is about 17 hundredths, and that says, hey, Catalina Eddy is getting a little deeper. It's deeper than it was, so yes, it's coming back at us. At 5 o'clock, San Bernardino was 95, Big Bear Lake was 78, and Lake Arrowhead 80, and Crestline, the automated weather stations at those places, 80 at Lake Arrowhead, and 83 at the North Dark Canyon automated weather station location. It's interesting how it was relatively cool in Big Bear, and Crestline went way up, and then the other temperatures started warming up as Crestline cooled off, caused by the marine layer. The time factor is really important in these cases. Okay, here was our Friday map, and we were really looking for prefrontal conditions with this, with onshore flow, and yes, we had onshore flow and low clouds, but and it was cool on Saturday. But the high behind this thing just came right on through, and the high behind it gave us, and it was up here for you over the weekend on Sunday, and it's moved down to the Four Corners area today. Yeah, I guess you can see that on the camera. But anyway, it has, so we've been getting a flow off the desert like this, and a little weak eddy has been giving coastal stratus almost all day long. But this is deepening, so we will see more clouds into the basin for tomorrow. At least that's what I'm looking for. Here's the details on Greg. Is still a hurricane, 1,300 nautical miles east of Hilo, Hawaii. That's almost 1,500 statute miles. With winds of 75 knots. That's the minimal hurricane with gusts to 85 knots. That's just up to the gusts almost up to 100 miles an hour. And moving to the west-northwest at about 8 knots. It's going to be several days before it gets to Hawaii if it's still a storm. Now, Hillary was 98 miles southwest of Cabo San Lucas at 2 o'clock this afternoon. That's nautical miles. That's about 113 statute miles at 2 o'clock. Moving to the north, right at it almost, at Cabo San Lucas at 3 knots. That means it's going to take a while. It's going to take 30 hours to get there. But Cabo is going to have clouds and rain all day tonight and tomorrow and the day after. And the heavy part of the storm should get there tomorrow. But I think it's going to speed up, and probably tomorrow is going to be the big storm for that. The winds are 45 knots, gusting to 55 knots. That's about a little over 50 miles an hour, gusting to a little over 60 miles an hour for that storm. But the circulation supporting it will continue to bring moisture over the deserts and into, even could be as close as our eastern deserts of our San Bernardino County. More likely into Imperial County, but definitely already today in southern Arizona and southern New Mexico. So here's what I expect tomorrow. These little waves keep moving through. This is the tail end of this one. And a little low moving along this one, causing a little wave. And here's another one moving into the northwest, which will cause some showers. There's some highs up here, but it's not really expected to come down. The jet stream is almost horizontal here. Nothing, hardly any waves at all in it. The waves are out here farther. So the highs here will protect us somewhat. The eddy's going to get stronger. We'll have also more and more moisture into the deserts to our southeast. So that's what I'm basing the forecast on, and here we go. Fair skies with a few high clouds. And the high temperatures, the temperatures are going to be up there again tomorrow, pretty much like they are today, but they should begin a slow cool off. Low temperatures are going to stay up there. They're going to be in the low and middle 60s. Winds out of the southeast from 7 to 25, strongest in the afternoon. The outlook is for afternoon haze and afternoon breezes. A few afternoon clouds to the north and east of our area, mostly to the east over the deserts. Increasing, and most of that's going to be on Wednesday, increasing. But with those clouds over the area, well, I expect some slight cooling on Wednesday. So the temperature should be a little cooler on Wednesday and even more so on Thursday. But we'll talk about Thursday on Wednesday night's program. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:22 and 15 seconds. Sunset will be at 7:20 and 38 seconds. Lake Gregory water temperature has come up. It was down to 69 on Friday. It's back up to 71 now. On highways 18 and 330, mostly haze down below. It's going to be haze right next to the mountains, but the clouds should start not far from the mountains. Clouds in the low spots in the southern portion of the basin. There may be some fog in low spots in the early morning. It'll all become hazy sunshine, and of course we'll have that haze above our ridges in the afternoon, settling back down again at night. And I'm looking for that low marine layer to be increasing on Wednesday, so we'll have more of it on Wednesday. Now, if there's a change in this, you can call me at the weather number 338-3700. The weather number, that's not it. There we go, 338-3700. The weather number is sponsored by Coldwell Banker, Rim of the World, Realty, and Crestline. You can always call the weather number 24 hours a day. And this segment is supported by the Community News and Weather Foundation and Silicon Arrays Technology. The computer specialist in Crestline, Dr. John Birdsall and his family run that business. We'll take the phone number off the weather. Yeah. Come on. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a call about Dr. Birdsall's classes just a few minutes
Yeah,
ago.
okay. Well, he's teaching computer classes for the Recreation and Park Department, and you call the Park and Recreation Department
Right.
about for that, to get in those classes. Computer classes beginning, word processing, Windows, and all kinds of, lots of fun in the computer classes, and this hands-on experience. They have computers, so everybody, you might have to share with someone, but you get a chance to practice on it. But anyway, Dr. John knows his business. They have hardware, they have software, they do custom programming, they do networking, they do it all, and they can handle your problems with computers or getting you into computers. And they're very competitive price-wise. You know, there's the retail price and then there's the street price, and their prices are very competitive with the street prices. Computer prices change all the time. They're always coming down because somebody's got something new. So it's not as expensive as you think it used to be. It's a lot more reasonable, and you can do a lot with computers. This segment is also supported by Mountain High Market in Twin Peaks, biggest little convenience market in the mountains, across from the fire station on Highway 189 in Twin Peaks. Ron and Susie Chalfant are the owners of the Mountain High Market, and they also have the Twin Peaks weather station. They've been supporting the programs, the weather programs here in the mountains for a good number of years, and we know you appreciate it, and we certainly do. And let them know when you're in the Mountain High Market. That's across from fire station number 26 on Highway 189 in Twin Peaks. And now back to Judy and Sharon.
Okay, let's see,
Whoops,
just a second.
you're not on any.
Yeah.
The switch didn't
Oops.
switch.
It sure did.
Thanks, Tom. As Tom said, the number for weather updates is 338-3700. Now again, that's 338-3700. The number for our studio and program information is 336-2379. That's 336-2379. And you may also call Florence if you have news or questions about the news at 337-6687. That's 337-6687. Send press releases, suggestions, comments, and contributions to Post Office Box 215 in Blue Jay, California. The zip is 92317. That's Box 215 in Blue Jay, 92317. Let us hear from you, and you are our business. Please read all the local newspapers, the Alpenhorn, the Courier News, and the Mountain News. They're all on the newsstands every Thursday, or better yet, subscribe to all three. Remember, television is no substitute for a newspaper. And before I go to Sharon right now, I want to tell you this with a great deal of mixed emotions that tonight is my last night at least for this time, here at Channel 6 News and Weather. I have the privilege to be returning to the University of Laverne to work on my master's to become a child care specialist. But I'm going to deeply miss Florence and Tom and Sharon, and Kelly and Shannon are already gone on to school and other colleges, and I've enjoyed meeting you in your homes every week so much for this past year, and appreciate all of your comments when I run into you in the stores and so forth. You're a great bunch of people up here in the mountains. I'm going to miss you. Sharon.
Judy, good luck and Godspeed to you, and we will miss you a lot.
Well, I'm going to miss you a whole bunch.
But I know you're doing something wonderful, and you'll be back helping the children, which is so important.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we have a special guest in studio this evening, Miss Lauren DeLong, and she's going to give us our language tip. You have a speech and language tip for us, Lauren.
First one is, it's good to remember to not interrupt when someone else is talking.
That's very important. And do you have another one?
Yes, the next one is to keep your hands away from your mouth when you speak.
That's excellent. Now, did you, what is a speecho? You've been talking about a speecho all day. What is a speecho?
A speecho is a person who speaks clearly.
I see. Did you make a poster? Would you
Yes,
like
I
to
did.
show it? And that's what a speecho looks like, a person who speaks clearly. Well, thank you very much.
That's
and
wonderful.
you are a good example of a speecho.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Lauren. Florence, Tom, Judy, Mike, and I thank you for watching tonight. We will be back next Monday at 6 with more news and with our very good friend Sherry Newcomer. She's our Red Cross person. Dick Markwood and Mary Matthews will be here on Wednesday at 6, and Bill Sanchez, our Social Security answer man, will be here too. And another guest from the hospital will be here to talk about AIDS. That's HIV positive.
Mm.
Yeah. Be sure to watch Windows to the World with our very own Axel Bayreuther every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5:30, just before our news program on Channel 6 at 6 o'clock. This is Sharon Keller saying have a good evening and good night from all of us in the Channel 6 News Studio.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, I miss you, but you're going to be so busy. I bet you won't miss us.